right, morning stream. Today is December 5th. See if we can get a trade. All right, so the usual, come on, mark out the highs, 4 hour highs, 4 hour low. Determine our bias. So we can see here that we're respecting this 4 hour gap that we created yesterday, and we're getting a nice move out of it. So overall, bullish, looking to take out these highs. So let's see if we can see. Let's see if we can find a setup on the lower time frame. All right, so 9:30 candle, we took out these London high, currently a high day. Um, Keeping it simple here, I'm probably gonna wait for this next 5 minute candle to close. We most likely are gonna create a 5 minute fair value gap here, and what I want to see is a tap into that fair value gap and um, the reaction out of it showing that we want to continue higher. And I'll look to just take a continuation trade. A more safe setup would also be to wait for this 15 minute to close, inverse this small gap here, then wait for another 15 minutes to close, leaving a 15 minute gap in which if we tap back in, could look for a move higher. I don't think there was any news today. Okay, so we got 10 o'clock news. We have PCE 10 o'clock. Okay, so I'm gonna stay off. I'm gonna try not to take a trade. Well, I'm not gonna take a trade until after news because that could switch the whole direction of where you want to go today. Usually PCE is not, it doesn't have a crazy move, but you never know. So it's best to just stay out, wait till after news, see what market wants to do after that. So yeah, pretty simple. That's what I'm waiting for. It's currently 9:36, so I'm wait till 10. Um, See how the 15 minute closes. By that time, there'll either be a gap here or we're showing that we want to come down lower. And if we do want to come down lower, I would look for something like uh, once this hourly closes, if we do want to come down lower, I'll look for sweep of this low, tapping back into this, or even tapping back into this gap here to try and get a move higher. Yeah, so if we can tap back into this gap, or even come down and take out this hourly low, I'll look for move higher. Again, based on what news does, bias might change. So let's see here. A minute 30 seconds for this 5 minute to close. See what's going on Twitter, if there's any news. China Vice Premier agreed to promote safe development. I need cars to be built in America. What the heck? Hmm. Okay, so no major news as of right now. 30 seconds for this 5 minute close. Okay, so we created this gap here. Um, the play I would have wanted was if we didn't have news, I would wait for a pullback into around this area, the lower half of this gap, somewhere around here. And on the 1 minute, I want to see like sharp rejection out of it. And then yeah, and then I'll take a long setup if we didn't have 10 o'clock news. But because we have 10 o'clock news, gonna wait for that. This either way would have been a risky setup because we still have this 15-minute gap here, and if we pull back down here, we could obviously flip and respect this gap and push down lower. So this probably wouldn't be a setup I'll take either way, but yeah. Once this 15-minute gap closes, if we close somewhere around London High, then I would have maybe looked to take um, the 5 minute gap top if we didn't have news, but I wouldn't take it off rip with this 15 minutes still open. I'd have to see inversion, um, strong bullish close, and then maybe tap back into this 5 minute and I'll take higher. But for now, just sit on hands and wait. As you can see, we're about to flip. All right, 2 minutes till we get this close. All right. So the 15-minute close, not a strong bullish close like I wanted. Again, we're just gonna be waiting here till 10, 15 minutes, see what news does. I wouldn't mind we come down, take out these lows before getting a move up. Overall, though, definitely bullish. Um, okay. At least if this 30-minute can close near London High, news come out, and we can create a 15-minute gap. You know, if as long as the 30-minute closes or the next 15-minute closes near London High, I might still look to take a trade out of this 15-minute gap. All right, get a nice push here. Push back up on the 5-minute out of this 5-minute gap. All right, 9 minutes till news. Let me pull up the stream. I need to purchase purchase the Tradify plans before the sale ends. They have this new select plan, which is pretty solid. They have two. You can choose between daily payouts or the 5 day payout. And it's pretty solid for the price that is priced right now. It's a really good plan. So I kind of explained it yesterday, but basically it's a lower profit target, $500 less than the average or the norm. $2,000 drawdown, no daily loss limit, end of day consistency. Wait, end of day loss. What do you call that? Drawdown. 40% consistency. You can use up to 4 minis, and you can have 5 accounts. No activation fee. All in $95. It's pretty good. And to get a payout, all you need is 5 days of $150. There's no buffer. I don't think there's a, okay. The only catch is you can only withdraw 50% of your account balance, up to $3,000 though, so that's pretty good. Say you make in 2 weeks you make $3,000, you can withdraw 1,500 per account, so that's 1,500 times five. It's pretty good. So yeah, I'm gonna stack up on. I'm gonna get at least 5 of these. Take my time and pass them. I currently have 5 growth. They're in growth eval. They're in drawdown right now. I was gonna save them till either NFP or CPI news, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna cop some of these and just take them slow, like I'm doing these lucid accounts. The goal is to have 5 accounts or maximum allocation. Well, not with the top 5 firms, right? So 550Ks with Tradeify. I want 550Ks with My Fund of Futures, 5 with Alpha, 3 with Alpha, 5 with Lucid. And that'll bring me to like 18 accounts. And with that, I can comfortably take base hits and make consistent 5 figures. So that's the goal going into next year. All right, so we're getting a nice push here. Great reaction out of the 5 minute. Again, if the 15 had closed stronger and we had gotten a move into the 5 minute after that close without news being at 10, I would have taken something like this. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna cop 5 of these today. I think where is it? It ends today at 11:59. So I'm gonna cop some, take them slow, pass them. All right, 3 minutes, 30 seconds. 2 minutes. I'm gonna wait maybe like 5 minutes after 10 o'clock, after news, depend on the reaction that we get to the news. And then possibly if we get another tap into this 5 minute gap, I'll look to take a long. Yeah. All right, 20 seconds. Let's see what news has for us. All right, getting volatility as expected. Um, okay, as expected. Okay, so news overall looks like it came out as expected, so might not see a big move here. Uh, Move was probably already priced in. So yeah, I'm gonna give this 5 minutes. I want to see us come back down into this 5 minute gap, or even this 15-minute gap here, before I look to take any longs. Yeah. So if we get a pullback into this line 15, and this is 15-minute gap, and a 1 minute inversion or CISD. I'll look to take a long out of this area. So that's what we'll wait on. All right, pushing higher here. Took out this 4 hour high. Next eye is up here, and then up here. Now we are in this bearish 4 hour gap, so we could possibly either chop around, reject from it, or push through it, right? Very cool. So with this, I'm not opposed to taking longs, right? But I just wouldn't be taking them this high, right? Anywhere in this 4 hour gap. I'd rather take it lower and see a move high, right? So say we push higher and then we get a 5 minute, 15 minute gap down here. Probably wouldn't look to take that because we're still in this 4 hour gap and we could reject here. And there's another 4 hour gap higher, right? But if we get an entry down here, we have space before we're back into the 4 hour gap. So yeah, just watch out for that. So that our entry isn't too high. Um, I'm gonna give it to like 10:30, maybe 11. If I don't get nothing by then, I'm gonna call it a day. Price is just kind of grinding up at this point. Maybe we'll finally get a better move in the PM. But yeah, just know there was no. This 5 minute was a good trade, but we had a bad 15 minute close and we had news at 10, so couldn't take this. Now we're just kind of grinding up. So probably maybe no trade this AM. PM might present something. So I'm gonna give this until 10:30. If we still have no setup and price is just chopping, might just call it a day. Okay, so we still got this 4 hour high. Hmm. Could possibly, well, I'm not gonna take it, but there could be a short setup here. Um, I'm not gonna say it because we're overall bullish, but could get a short setup for price to come back down into this 5 minute gap here. Let me just put this right here. All right, we could get a 1 minute inversion here. Like 30 point stops. This could work out, but bullish on the day. Um, and there's this 1 minute gap here. So yeah, it's a lot less riskier going against the bias. But this could work out. We already in a 4 hour bearish gap. We did sweep a lot of liquidity, but we're overall bullish. So yeah, I'll paper trade this though. I'll just mark it up and see if it works out. See what Bitcoin's doing. Bitcoin back at 91. Oh, it pushed to 94 yesterday. I'm not a big fan of crypto. It's too volatile. This is a good pullback though. If for those who are invested in crypto, this is probably great. This is a great buying opportunity for Bitcoin, Ethereum. Let's see what Ethereum's doing. Yeah, for Bitcoin, Ethereum. Still grinding up here. Since the 9:30 open, we have pushed up 169 points. So yeah, pullback trade could work, but it's a lot riskier. Those are trades that you just either don't take or you go in a super small size. Trade idea wouldn't even be valid anymore because we created another 5 minute gap here, which we might just bounce from this 5 minute gap now instead of going back to that one. If we take out this next 4 hour high, uh, might consider short ideas. If we continue pushing here and don't get a pullback, take out this 4 hour high, might consider taking a short. Let's see what's new. Mm. All right, see if we can get this gap here. This might be the gap that I take the short if we inverse. 18 seconds. Okay, I needed to close it right there. Leave a decent sized gap. 7 points, not bad. All right, if we inverse this gap, I'm gonna take a jab at shorts, go on a small size. Um, gonna have, gonna give myself 35 point stops. So I'm only gonna send one NQ. So see if we can get this inversion. The idea behind this trade is we're in a 4 hour gap. We've been grinding up. We haven't had a decent pullback since this pullback into this 5 minute gap. So more than likely gonna get a pullback into this gap right here, at least. Right? New 5 minute just closed also. So that's the idea behind this trade. 4 hour gap, swap a lot of liquidity. Should get a pullback now. Again, this is not, I'm going against the bias, so this is not a high probability trade. But I am trading evals and I will size down on this. Trade like this, I wouldn't take on fundeds. Okay. Oh wait, it was at 35 point. Okay, so I'm gonna trade 5M and Q. I wouldn't mind we continue pushing higher and take out these highs. That would give me a better entry for the short. Let's see though. If we continue to chop though, like for another 2 minutes, probably just gonna scratch this idea. It's already low probability. If we're showing strength in this gap, then I mean even if we inverse it, we might just come all the way back up. So I'm gonna give it like 2 more minutes. Okay, so we're gonna move higher now. Let's see if we get this for our high. Really strong right now. Really strong bullish right now. Let's see. Can we get a inversion with good momentum? Probably gonna be aggressive with my break even on this trade. Probably around this area. CP1, CE of this 5 minute gap. CP2 down here. Alright, so it looks like we're about to get the inversion. Not quite yet. Getting to push down, but we didn't get the inversion yet, so I'm just gonna wait for this to inverse. 25,847 is gonna be my entry once we inverse. Break even at 25,834. 10 seconds. Looks like we're gonna get this inversion. Alright, I got the inversion. Sell limits there. My stops are gonna be at 25,881. 25. All right, so I'm gonna scratch this idea because we are just melting, um, and my break even got hit. So I'll be break even in this trade anyway. So that's a sign that the idea probably won't work out. All right, so almost hit TP1. If I was in break even got hit, so I removed my order. So what I want to see now is, all right, so now I want to see 15-minute gap form, and we get a move out of the 15-minute, right? Or continue higher, take out this for our high, create a nice gap for us to inverse, and we could possibly come down further. But we're getting a super strong reaction out of this 5 minute tap, so just heavy bullish today, I guess. Trade idea could still work out. Where was it? Somewhere right here, right? 881, something like this. This could still work out, but again, told myself I'll go break even here. So if I didn't get tapped in and it break even got hit, basically got to just close the position. or cancel the position. Especially seeing that the bias is bullish. So I'm going against the bias and I'll be forcing a trade at that point. Be right back. I'm gonna grab some water. All right, I'm back. Didn't really do much. Yeah, we're kind of just chopping here for like a 5 minute. Respecting this, excuse me, respecting this 5 minute gap though. What I would want to see now is if we can get a pullback into this 30 minute or trying to see, how do you like this 30 minute gap? This would be ideal, but because of how strong we are, we might not come all the way back down here. So let's see if we can get a pullback into this to the lower half of this 15 minute, somewhere around here. Just leave some space. Huge stops though. Damn, yeah. So if we can wick down into this 15 minute gap, um, I'll take something like this. Something like this. But obviously it's gonna be stops are gonna be a bit tighter. I would need to see the formation on the 1 minute. See if we get IFAG or a CISD to have good stops. But something like this is what I see can happen to continue higher into the 920. So yeah, I'm gonna wait for this. I'm gonna stay on a little bit longer, maybe until 11:30, and see if we can get this. If not, probably get a trade in the PM session. We'll consider going live. So yeah, we'll just wait for a pullback to get these longs. Mm, Looks like a lot of people caught that. Let's see, when did they catch? 10 o'clock candle. I don't see what they call it actually. The only move was this 5 minute gap tap. Maybe this 1 minute version to get higher prices, but there was 10 o'clock news. You never know what news can do, so this was a risky. This was a low probability trade, right? News at 10, 15 minute. There was still a 15 minute gap at the time. Didn't inverse this gap as yet. Pushed up all the way past these London highs. Closed at London low, although London is a small range, but still not the strongest of close. So I mean, this wasn't really a high probability trade setup. Worked out, yes, but I'm not mad I didn't take it because it was a high probability trade setup. But yeah, so I'm gonna pull back to this area for longs. All right, so we're getting this move down. Um, Tapped into this 15-minute gap. Now let's see the reaction that we get. If we can continue and push down into this 30-minute gap, that'll make a better setup. But we might reject from here and continue higher. So let's see what type of reaction we get here. Okay, so no fair value gaps. Let me look on the 30-second. I rarely use a 30-second, but sometimes like this, there might be a good fair value gap. Do I want to take this? Not really. If we can get a close above these highs, I'm gonna pair it with the 30-second, and I'll take a long off of this. Stops about down here. I like the reaction that we're getting out of this 15-minute though. So that's a plus. Break even around this area. Really tight though. Okay, this was the 30-second gap. This is the setup. Okay, if we could have created a bullish gap here, could have taken the gap top to continue higher. I do like the momentum that we're getting though, so I might take a stab at this. See how many points? 60. Yeah, nah, this is a no-go. Stops are way too huge. No bueno. It's good work though. I'll paper trade it. Taking this on paper would be in right here. Realistically right here after the pullback. TP1 high a day. TP2 this 4-hour high up here. Just put this here. And yeah, let's see how this works out. I do like the reaction that we're getting at this 15-minute gap, but there was no 1-minute gaps that we inversed, and as you can see, we inversed a 30-second fair value gap, but I don't really use a 30-second. They're lower probability. As you can see, we're rejecting now, and we could possibly come down lower, right? So yeah, we'll see if we saved ourselves from taking a loss. Come down to this 30-minute now. Way better setup. Let's see if I would have gotten stopped out. Bang, so stops would have got slapped pretty quickly. again, reason I didn't take this trade, and the reason it lost was because yes, we did tap into this 15-minute gap. Yes, we had good reaction out of it, but we didn't have any confirmation on the lower time frame, right? We didn't have any 1 minute IFEG, no CISD. There was no confirmation, right? This was just a blind long based on a 15-minute gap tap. Now, let's see if we can come down into this 30-minute gap and take a long out of this. Way high, way higher probability trade out of this 30-minute gap here. But again, we're not going to take it straight up. We're going to wait for confirmation, which will be, okay. Okay, so we're in the gap now. All I need to see is a good inversion and I'll stop longs. All right, gonna move up. All right, I have to fix the mic real quick. Okay, so tapped into this 30-minute gap. Um, I would like a deeper drive before we take a long setup, but this higher gap isn't bad here. If we inverse this higher gap, I might look to take longs. Yeah, so if we drive lower and are able to create another 1 minute bearish gap, I'll decide if I want to take the lower gap instead. But as of right now, this is the best gap I see. Something like this. All right, nice. We're going lower. Can we hold and create this gap? 40 seconds. Yeah, so 30 seconds. You can create this gap here. Cool. So we just created this next 1 minute gap. If we get an inversion, I might look to take longs here. Let me check, make sure that it wasn't news that came out. And that's the reason we're dropping. Imposing it full. Uh, we might be pushing down off news. Oil price caps on Russian source. Yeah, this might be why we're getting this move down right now. Uh, okay. All right, I'm still gonna give this inversion a try though. If we get it, gonna take an MNQ. 50 point stops. 100 point TP. 1R. Solid. Let me remark these highs and lows. Okay. My bias is still gonna be bullish until we come down and close inverses 30-minute gap and close below this previous hour low. That's when I might consider short. Okay, so we're getting a good push. Getting a good push out this gap right now. Probably going with 3 MNQ. If we get this inversion, it'll stop us long. Hmm. Okay, so we have a problem here. We just created this 5 minute, so for me to take any long setup now, I'm gonna need this 5 minutes to inverse before it can go long. Hopefully we inverse it the 5 minute before this next 15-minute closes because there's going to be a 15-minute gap that we're gonna need to inverse before we get longs. So yeah, if we get this 5-minute inversion before 11:15, I could possibly take this long. So I'm gonna give this until 11:15. If we don't get the setup, then I'm gonna call it here and look for trades in PM. Pain pal. I took one stock trade this year and it was I bought a couple of PayPal shares. Actually, let's go to some PayPal charts. Let me show you guys my exit. I think I still have my yeah. So I bought at 66.75 around here. Wait, no. Yeah, it was actually around here. So I bought around here. Was in a bit of drawdown, and when I was in this drawdown, I thought that it was the worst. Like this was I lost all my money or whatever, right? Barely down, maybe down like maybe like what 2%. And then the following week, I knew earnings was coming out, so earnings was good. They signed a deal with I think it was with Nvidia or something, or no, ChatGPT, OpenAI, and then we shot up right on the same day of earnings, shot up, and I wanted to see us go to I wanted to see us go to 80, 85, I think it was. The CEO of this guy, right? 83. But yeah, no, I wasn't greedy. I was like, okay, this the news was pretty big. Their earnings was really good. I expected the move, I expected it to shoot up more, and we just moved to 78. So took all my profits there, and I'm glad I did because literally right after I hopped out, same day, we pulled all the way back down and just continued moving down. And my stops were at 55. So yeah, I almost got out at the high. So yeah, that was my only stock play for this year. I don't really like the RR isn't there for me when it comes to trading stocks and options. Much rather trade futures and these funded. Um, so yeah, I don't really touch unless it's a super good um price on a stock for long-term hold. I don't really touch stocks. I do have my long-term portfolio, but I don't day trade stocks. Is what I mean. All right, so we're kind of just chopping here. Um, back to M&Q. Doesn't look like we're gonna inverse this 5 minute gap by 11:15, which is gonna create this 15-minute gap. So not looking good for higher prices anytime soon. Probably have to come back PM. So I'm gonna give this another like 7 minutes, 8 minutes, and then probably just call it here for AM. It's fire. Wait, this is active? This sale is for today only. 50% off my funded future pro plan. Hold. Okay, so my funded futures pro plan is pretty solid, but my issue with the pro plan is that you have to wait 14 days before you get a payout, which is I think it's 14 trading days. Wait, let me see. I don't see I don't see it on their page. Let me put up the pro plan real quick. That's the only firm I don't have any evals with right now, so I am open to buying some if the deal is good. Okay, so this is the pro plan here. Um, let's see. 50K pro plan. I use code SMART. Shout out to Desi, Brian, the team. Oh yeah, so it's just 30% off currently. 58. I mean, that's still not bad. No activation fee. So yeah, this is what I was talking about. You have to wait 14 days from your first trade. I'm not sure if it's 14 calendar days. I'm guessing it's 14 calendar days uh, from your first trade. And there's also a buffer. But there's no day loss limit in the eval or sim. End of day, um, drawdown, and the trading rules. Like it's a pretty good plan, but I just don't like the Oh yeah, just 50%. And there's 50% consistency in the. Oh, that's the eval. Okay, that's fine. Three cons, not bad, not bad, not bad. Yeah, I just want like the 14 days for the payout, and then the buffer for the payout is probably 2K or something. Which again is not bad, but you can get the scale. I can get the scale plan for a little bit cheaper. Um, Same rules in the eval, and then 5 days of $100, and I can get 1,500. I mean, there's no buffer, right? I can get $1,500 if I'm up $2,300. I can take out 15. So I think the scale plan is better than the pro, for me personally. Uh, So yeah, I'm still gonna stack up on some of these. No discount right now. All right, 11, 12. Do not look like we're gonna get this inversion. Gonna have to call it a AM session. Okay, 1 minute. I mean, it's basically like I'm basically for surely not gonna get it now. So I'm gonna call it an AM session here. No trades today. The the short that I marked out though did technically work out. Let's see, where was it? I think this was a short, right? So this one, think it was this one. So we did get the inversion, continued lower. Okay, so it was this. This was the short idea here. 35 stops. So yeah, the short idea worked out. I just wanted to pull back into this 5 minute. Freaking load into this 5 minute here. Worked out pretty nicely though. Didn't expect this much of a pullback, but yeah. Overall good trading session. Followed the plan. Didn't make any money, but we I stayed disciplined and didn't take any trades that were against my plan. So that's a win for me on the day. On to the next.